Hello and welcome to my video this morning. We are live on Facebook, so if you're joining on Facebook, welcome. If you're watching this on replay, welcome. And I'm going to talk today about the REBEL method of recovery from anxiety and depression. I'm very excited about this topic because this topic is all about me and you. So it's about my relationship with you and the journey that you and I can go on a journey of recovery from anxiety and depression. Good morning, Terry. Lovely to see you here this morning. I don't know if you saw me a little minute ago come on, but I dropped the phone and it went on live, so we had a bit of a weird one there. But I'm here now properly on this live this morning. So the topic is anxiety and depression, which is what I do. But the method is called the REBEL method. And I just love the word rebel because rebel is what I am. If you're a bit of a rebel, then you'll probably get a lot from this video. So the REBEL method involves lots of different things, but it's all the different components that I bring in to my work with people. And also it's going to be a suggestion perhaps for you, or a framework of what you need to look at to support you to feel better, to live better, to be better. It's so transformational, this method, and it's what I use in all of my retreat programs, on my one-on-one coaching programs, on the cognitive behavioural therapy and mindfulness 12-week course. This is all the framework of what I use. So I'll get started telling you what it's all about. So I'm going to go through each letter. So we're on the REBEL, and we're going to go through each letter as to what each one involves, and it's a journey. So starting with the R. The R is all about removing, but it's not about removing anything in particular or just general things. It's actually about removing the inner critic. Now, why put that first? Really good question. I asked myself when I put that down as the first, as the R, because I thought, well, why is this so important? Why is it important the R needs to be removed, the inner critic, as the first point? And the reason I say this is because when we have the inner critic shouting and jumping over everything that we're doing, it's very, very difficult to move forward. So we need to remove that inner critic, but I don't mean entirely remove it, because actually it's quite difficult to entirely remove the inner critic, because the inner critic can be part of our survival that's been there for many, many years, and it tells us, you know, what to be careful of, to be mindful of our behaviour, but it's just gone overboard. And we do need to remove her or him and do something about our relationship with her. And I talk about relationship because I've found that a lot of people, and myself, I've needed to have a relationship with my inner critic. At one point, I bought a little figurine. He was quite ugly, actually, but there was something quite cute about him. But he was my inner critic, and he used to sit on the desk with me. And he was a little doggy, actually. He's one of those characters from one of the children's cartoons at the moment, apparently, my granddaughter told me. So, but he's a little dog. Oh no, he's a fox, actually. And he sits on my desk, and I know that he's there. Now he's my inner critic, and he will jump and shout and go, no, don't do that. You're not worthy of it. You can't do that. You know, you'll fail at it. It will be difficult. You know, just don't do it. And he's there jumping up and down. Now I can tell him to sit, or to behave, or to, I know you're there. I know you're there for a reason. I know you're just trying to protect me. However, I don't need you at this point in time. And for those of you that know me will know that I talk about conversations with ourselves. Now, some people might think that actually talking to yourself is a sign of madness, but however, I think that talking to yourself is a sign of growth. Talking to your inner critic is a sign of growth, recognizing that he or she is there, but actually just allowing her or him that space, but saying, actually, I don't need you at the moment. We're okay. We know what we're doing. We're moving forward here. And that has been very, very useful for me, and I know it's been very useful for a lot of my clients. So we need to remove the inner critic. Now, sometimes that might involve some inner child work for some people, looking at where that all came from, all the inner voices, because a lot of that comes from messages from our caregivers when we're growing up. So you might need to have a little look at that and look at what's true, what's not true. But also another thing that I do a lot of is self-compassion and understanding why we have this manner towards ourselves, and maybe also be compassionately kind to ourselves. So bringing in that awareness of how we treat ourselves. So it's not just about how we talk to ourselves or how we feel about ourselves. It's also about our behaviour. So there we've got the CBT, the cognitive behaviour therapy. And actually what I practice is rational emotive behaviour therapy. So we get the emotions in there. So yeah, in terms of behaviour, when I was in treatment for my addictions, the first thing they said to me was, right, you need to go out today and buy yourself a bunch of flowers. Now that was just such an atrocious thought to me, that I had to go out and buy some flowers. I was like, why would I want to do that? And obviously underneath that was a core belief that I didn't deserve to treat myself in that way. I didn't deserve a nice bunch of flowers. And how sad is that? So I had to learn how to do those things, to do nice things for myself, and that's developed over the years. And as I work with my clients, gradually we become more attuned and more able to do those nice things, to go for that nice walk, to book that nice hotel, to treat yourself to that meal out. And that takes, we so don't do that stuff. And believe me, I still struggle with that at the moment. And, it creeps back in. I've just recently done my personal goals with my coach. And I was so resistant. My rebel came out and I was kicking, I was screaming, I don't need this stuff. And I was like, well, why don't I need this stuff? Why don't I need these nice things in my life? Why don't I invite these nice things into my life? By me going, oh, well, I've got enough, I'm okay, is not allowing myself that actually maybe I do deserve that trip to Thailand. Maybe I do deserve, that conservatory. It's opening your mind to actually you can have these things and it's not selfish. That's another thing a lot of my clients feel is it selfish to be self-compassionate? But it's not. I mean, you would treat somebody else in that way. You would buy them nice gifts for their birthday. Why don't you do that to yourself? You would never tell your best friend that they're a failure, but we tell ourselves that all the time. So yeah, that is the core of the work, and a lot of the work that I do on my retreats is about working with people around that kind of stuff and building up that relationship with ourselves. Because at the end of the day, if you're going to go through a process of change, you need to have a positive relationship with yourself. Okay, so that's step number one, remove the inner critic. Number two, educate, the E of rebel. We're on the rebel. Educate. Okay, educate the brain to understand how your brain works, understand what's going on, because there's so much brain psychology behind how we act, how we feel, how we respond on a daily basis. And understanding that actually the brain does its own bloody thing. I'm swearing, kind of swearing. It just operates according to what it's fed. Now, sometimes what our brain has been fed, or what we've fed our own brains, is not what we need and not what we want. So when we come to like, okay, I want to change that, I want to have something different, some kind of different script or method, the brain just starts to kick and scream because it becomes conditioned. It's like a computer. It's been programmed in a certain way. And there's also a part of the brain called the amygdala. Now the amygdala becomes hardwired with PTSD, with trauma. So if you have had past traumas, which, you know, are different things for different people, sometimes they're really, really difficult things. Other times they're just maybe things that people might go, well, no, that's not traumatic. But actually it may be a trauma because it may still have hardwired your brain. So just be aware that, you know, the brain does its own thing as a form of survival. But the good news is that you can change that, or you can find methods to work with that. And for me, that's where the mindfulness comes in, because just being mindful of what's going on, gaining that awareness of how your brain's operating, understanding, and we don't need to do a brain scan for this, we just need to talk through what happens to you, how you behave in certain situations, what comes up for you emotionally in certain situations, what your triggers are. So it's all about educating you with what's going on in the brain, and also looking at the brain psychology. Not too much of it, because that's a bit overwhelming. And to be honest with you, I don't know enough about the brain psychology, but what I do know is that we have certain hardwirings, and also that the brain is plastic, so it has a plasticity, not that it's plastic, but it has a plasticity, which means that we can change how the brain is functioning. But it takes time, it takes work, and it takes bringing in new things. Like the inner critic, we can start to reduce the level of the inner critic popping in into your mind. So that's the E, educate. So we've done R, E of rebel. Now we're on to the B. Okay, and I just love this one. B is all about being you, being the person that you want to be, being the person who you really are. And so many people who come to me will say in their initial assessment, I just don't know who I am, or I want to get back to the person that I was, or I want to discover who I am. And that's so fundamental. And there's lots of ways and methods that I use to support people to do that. And one of them, which you've probably heard of, is our values. And how often do we live against our values? If you're a people pleaser or a perfectionist, or you know, you're in a relationship that isn't really working for you, you will be going against your values. And it's very, very easy for us to put our personal values to the side. You also might get frustrated with other people when they're not in alignment with your values. So we do lots of work around that. We also look at your wants, especially on the 12-week program, your wants, your needs, your desires, how they tie in with you, how they're realistic. And then we do the beautiful collage work where you can really connect with who you are, what you want in life, and that's through a guided meditation which takes you down that road. And that is a beautiful piece of work, and believe me, so many people that I've worked with have done those collages and they've gone away and they've made all these changes in their lives. And I don't mean to frighten you off by saying that if you come and work with me you're going to make huge amounts of changes in your life, but just think about it. If you're not sure who you are, and if you're being who you're really supposed to be, then actually to get to who you are, or who you're supposed to be, or who you want to be, you're going to need to make some changes. And that I can support you through that. And believe me, they've always been positive changes. And sometimes it's not anything too dramatic. Sometimes it's just changing your home, or, you know, changing how you work your day. You know, just changing little things so that you are more in alignment with you and you can be you. So that's the B. Now, the E is eliminate anxiety and depression, because my honest experience, and I used to suffer with so much anxiety and also depression, and believe me, it doesn't completely go away. It still comes back. Not so much the anxiety, but sometimes the depression is still there, and I don't quite know why, but it's just there. However, I have been able to eliminate the real anxiety about my life and the real depression of feeling I'm just not living who I'm supposed to be. I just feel fed up with my life. I don't have that today because I have worked the R, I've removed the inner critic. E, I'm educated about my brain and how it works. And B, I'm being me. I am in my purpose. I'm being the person that I'm really supposed to be. So that has eliminated the anxiety and depression. And believe me, that's It's quite miraculous how that can just drift away. I mean, I'm a cognitive behaviour therapist, and if you go to the doctor, they will tell you that maybe you need cognitive behaviour therapy. Cognitive behaviour therapy is great. It tells you how your brain works, how it functions, it tells you what your thinking patterns are, it helps you to change it. But if you don't look at who you are and being in alignment with yourself, and you're still living a life that isn't really you, you're still going to be anxious and depressed. So that's a bit of a bittersweet message there, but I need to be honest with you and, you know, tell you what actually is really is needed for these changes in life. Okay, so that's the E. Eliminate anxiety and depression. Yay! That is just amazing. And, you know, people say that, you know, there's all different kinds of methods for eliminating anxiety and depression, but this is the way that I feel that it works. And it's not a short-term process. I don't just extract something from the brain. It's about working on yourself. It takes a bit of work and energy, and it can take maybe a year of working on yourself. And, you know, that if you're working with me, people go away and they use these methods, and you start to build and change over the year. Okay, so we eliminated the anxiety and depression. So we get to the L, where you live the life that you truly want and you truly dream of. And sometimes that can just be peace of mind. That really can. And if you relate to this, then, you know, maybe this is something for you to look at yourself, and, you know, go back over these videos and think about these 5 different steps and how you could involve these 5 steps into your life, and what you need to do to bring these 5 steps in your life, because believe me, they will make the changes that you need. So live the life that you really dream of. So you don't have to be in that no hope place anymore. You understand yourself. You can build hope. And, you know, sometimes I get clients who come to me and say, well, you know, okay, it's all very well doing this build your dream life stuff. However, this and this has happened to me. How on earth can I build my dream life? I get it. I get it. Sometimes life takes some huge curveballs, and it really doesn't turn out how you want it to be or how you imagined it to be. However, there is a way that you can come to terms with that, and that takes some work. But, you know, coming to terms with who you are, what you need in your life, and making it the best possible life that you could want or need at this point or have. And disappointment might be part of that, because it's, oh shucks, you know, I had this dream and it didn't work out. But hey, you know, you can, it's your responsibility. You can rebuild a dream. You can build a different dream. We don't have to have a fixed dream in our lives. It can change. You might have to put some restrictions on that dream. I mean, an example would be like, you know, a dream of mine obviously is to travel to Thailand, travel to India. That's not going to happen at the moment. So I can adjust to that. I can maybe go and see some beautiful places in the UK. So I've got itchy nose. I can adjust to that, and because it's trying to do things that we know can't happen, or trying to fight against things that we want to happen, really actually just gives us stress and anxiety and depression. So it's about being adaptable. There might be acceptance in there, might be surrender. There's all kinds of things, but that is very personal. Your dream life is very personal, and it's a journey for you. And, you know, that work comes at the end of doing all the other work. So I'm just going to go over those 5 things again, just for those of you who are maybe popping in here at the end. So remove the inner critic. That's the R. We're doing rebel here. Remove the inner critic. Educate about the brain. Educate what happens in the brain. Educate yourself about what's going on in your brain. Educate about the wiring that you've got going on, and what you need to do to change that if you want to change it. Be you. Understand your values. Understand who you are. Understand why you're people pleasing. Understand those relationships that aren't working for you. And notice and understand how you can be you. So be in alignment with you and who you truly are. Eliminate anxiety and depression. And that comes after doing those first 3 steps. So removing the inner critic, educating about the mind and being mindful of the mind and being you. And then the anxiety and depression will start to lift, start to come away. And finally, live the life that you truly dream of. And as I said, you know, that will happen naturally. However, there may be some blocks to that, and we can work through the blocks. And you may be to look, you know, looking at things like, okay, I need to accept things that happened, or put down resentments. There's lots and lots of work that can be done around that. So I hope this has been useful, and I hope, you know, that you maybe, even if you could try to just work on one of those, you know, it will help. It will help. But this is what I absolutely believe, and I've absolutely learnt, is the way to move forward in life. These are the tools that I use with my clients. And so, you know, I'm giving you this for free to look at, to think about, to maybe know find out what you can access to support you in all those 5 areas. Okay, so have a wonderful, wonderful day, weekend, evening, morning, whatever time you're watching this video, because this video I also put up on YouTube, on Instagram, so it's going to be popped around in a few places. If you're on Facebook, I'm here every Saturday morning, 8 AM on Crystal Clear Retreats. My YouTube is at Vanessa Wallace, and my Instagram is Crystal Clear Coach. So come along and follow me, watch my videos, you know, see what's going on. I have a group as well, Crystal Clarity with Vanessa. If you would like to join that, please just put in a request, and I'll get you into that. And I have an exclusive VIP group for my clients, so those who are on my paid programs, which I've just set up now, and we're doing Power Hour on a Thursday in there, which is really good. So, you know, just have a lovely time. If you have any questions, if you want to book a call with me, I'll put the under the comments, I'll put a book a call, how to book a call with me. And if you know you're interested in coming on any of my programs, or the retreats, or the 12-week CBT mindfulness program, just book a call with me and we can have a chat and see if it would work out for you. Thanks, Terry. Thanks for being here. She says, Terry says it all resonates with her. Fantastic. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, take care. See you soon. Bye.